Hey everyone, welcome to Mountain Woman Radio. I am your host, Tammy Trayer, and I am so thankful that you're here to join me. This is episode number 239, and today we are going to talk about harmony. I'm noticing that my lips are blue. I was just outside and took the dogs out, did a little stroll, and I came back in, got my cup of hot coffee, and I thought I would sit down and chat with you guys. There's been a lot going on since I did the last episode, and it's been a little while, and I apologize, but my dad passed away on November 8th, which was a tremendous blessing. I'm so grateful that he has gone to heaven and is up there celebrating and looking down on me with Jesus, because I just am so thankful that he didn't have to suffer. And so that was one of the things going on. And as you knew, back in September, I had detected several breast lumps, and the doctor suggested an ultrasound and biopsy. And it took until the first week of January with our medical system to get that established. So in the meantime, I was doing varying protocols, preventative protocols, just because who knew how long things would progress with the medical system, and I didn't want to mess around. But I had the ultrasound and biopsy in the same day. While they were taking the 6 samples, the lump did disappear, so that was a good sign. And I got confirmation in 3 days that it was benign, so no cancer, and it was likely, the milk ducts were clogged and likely due to the silicone. So very thankful for that, very, very thankful for that. And also in between all of that, we've been building the Mountain Boy a cabin. So it's just been a lot going on, a lot of different hats that I've been wearing, and just a lot of shuffling. So I have lots of good news to share with you on the new year. The Trayer Wilderness Academy membership reopened the doors, and you can check that out by going to trayerwilderness.com/membership. Would absolutely love to have you. We are really excited to be able to walk alongside you for 2023 and moving forward to help you learn the skills you need so that you can be prepared for whatever may come your way. Traditional skills, homesteading, off-grid living, you name it, and natural medicines. We are really trying to help educate the masses, help people along on their journey. So we would love to have you join us there. And if you are looking for a free community of like-minded people to fellowship and commune with, you can also go to trayerwilderness.com/community. I'm also very fortunate, blessed and honored to be a part of the Real Story of Autoimmune Disease Summit with my friend Roberta Tachi. You can find that by going to breathetohealing.com/realstory. Moving forward, I will be sharing the Mountain Woman Radio podcast on the first Friday and the third Friday of every month. I really need to regulate my time. These machines still and EMFs still bug me. I'm finding when I'm spending excessive amounts of time in front of them. So I am really being diligent with my calendar. I want to be efficient, but I want to get my messages across to you guys. I also want to remind you that I am podcasting under Breathe to Healing as well. And I am going to kind of piggyback the two this year with similar subjects or subjects that go together. So for example, on Breathe to Healing, this week I am sharing on reflection. And today we're going to talk about harmony. And I feel that they both go hand in hand. So you can glean from both podcasts and really, I hope, progress in a good way in your new year. So what is harmony, and why talk about it? Well, because a lot of people associate harmony with music, but harmony is in all aspects of our life, and it's the ebb and flow. And in in a homesteading situation and in life situation, we should not be running around in a stressed and overwhelmed state all the time. If we are out of harmony, we are out of balance. And it's really important, I feel, that we really evaluate our lives, and that requires reflection. Reflection on where we've come, reflection on where we are, analyzing our to-do lists. Lots of big words, lots of positive words we're going to share today. You need to really analyze your calendar, analyze your to-do list. Because if you're running around in an overwhelmed state, it's because you are likely trying to take on too many things, trying to be Superman or Superwoman. I think we've all rested in that place for some time. I did that for much of my life. I have no desire to do that now. I want to have balance and harmony in my life so that I can enjoy it and so that I can progress well instead of keeping myself in an unhealthy place. And the other thing we do is we focus on things that we think are important, which are really not, and we don't have a good means of accomplishing our to-do lists. So we're very easily distracted because the things that are most important are agonizing and we don't want to do them, where if we would just get them out of the way, it makes life so much easier. So I'm going to give you some tips to finding harmony and balance and peace and just enjoying your life. You should be enjoying the process. You should be enjoying the journey. Another part of harmony, though, is keeping this in mind. Here on my homestead, it's the mountain man and the mountain boy. He's back from college and living on the homestead. We've built his cabin, so he's part of the process in a lot of ways, yet he's also off on his own. But when it comes to some of the bigger chores, maybe firewood or milling lumber or different things like that, we're all playing a role in that. And harmony comes when we focus on each other's skill sets and where we are really good at things and maybe where we're not. And the nice thing here is that where one stops, the other picks up, especially with the mountain man and I. We've always had that good connection where his level of expertise ends, mine picks up, and we complement each other a lot. And when you can get in a place of harmony and work together well, it's a wonderful thing. If you're, competing and conflicting, and a lot of times those things happen till you get in a good groove or you learn what each other's skill sets are and where you thrive and maybe where you aren't as good. And also, in our Bible study right now, our theme for the year is reachable, teachable, and humble. And I think that is really something that we need to incorporate, all of us, into our lives, is that we are reachable by others and by God, and that we aren't so prideful that we can't be reached and that we can't be taught, because it's really important to be reachable. It's also important to be teachable, that we can continue to learn new things and again, not be prideful and think we know it all, and be willing to learn and be willing to be taught and be willing to grow. And being humble in that whole aspect is just being able to be reached and molded, in our walk, both by God and by those around us. We all have different skill sets. We all have different superpowers. So when you can work out of that space and be able to nurture one another and be able to point things out to one another in a kind way that you can grow each other and work out of a place of harmony, so many more things can be accomplished. And really learning how to address your days. I'm very blessed to be self-employed. I've been self-employed since 1997. I don't know that I could ever go back to working for somebody else because I'm so used to my own routine, my own schedule. But in doing that, it also requires that I am very focused. I am very disciplined, and it can be hard sometimes, especially living where I do and when the sun is shining and, you know, the wilderness is calling. It's very hard not to want to be called when I've got work to do. But I've got to be that responsible adult. There are days I choose not to be, but you create margin in your calendar and in your life so that you can have those moments. But being focused, being responsible, being diligent, learning to use your phone in a way that is useful rather than a waste of time. Our machines are such a stinking waste of time, truly. You know, it's so easy to get caught in a rabbit hole and just endlessly, even just researching. I do a lot of researching for natural health things, all kinds of things. I'm a researcher. I dive deep. But then there's also those moments where you're just endlessly scrolling on social media. I don't do that very often anymore, but I have fallen into that trap. But I use my phone and I have timers set for my work. I also go into focus modes, work mode, sleep mode, where I am not getting senseless and endless notifications coming through my phone. Because I wear many hats and have multiple businesses, that happens. I have a lot of stuff flying my way. But in order for me to be productive and to live a life of harmony and balance, and that I can enjoy what I'm doing, I need to regulate what's flying at me and the distractions so that I can be focused, accomplish the things I want to do, and then have margin and time in my life to go back and look and communicate with others and have a life. So on my calendar, and I do YouTube lives also on Trayer Wilderness, and I will be doing some series on Breathe to Healing as well. So be sure you're subscribed to both. But we were talking about the calendar, and I am working on the new Relentlessly Faithful Gratitude and Prayer Journal, but I'm also working on a planner. I've used a lot of different planners over the years. I'm very organized, and finding the right one that works for you and your mindset is really important. I've tried ones that are created by professionals and very successful people, yet their method did not work for me. And so I am creating a planner. It may not work for you, but it works really wonderfully for me. And I keep track of my scheduled events and things that are on a time schedule on one side of my day. And on the other side of my day, I start with my 3 most important things that have to get done, that are important, that are a requirement. And I only put 3 things every day that need to get done. And when I'm done with that, then I move on to things that are below that and other necessary things, but not things of extreme priority. And I start with those, and I block out time. I have my phone and all distractions out of the way so that I can accomplish those things. And like I said, a lot of times they're things that I really don't want to do, but they have to get done. And when they're out of the way, everything flows. And when you only have 3 priorities for your day, you have a sense of accomplishment. You are not stuck in this endless to-do list and that a lot of times is what causes people to end up down those rabbit holes, because their list is so long and so overwhelming. And also to show yourself grace. When I create my calendar, it's all done in pencil. But I don't even erase things anymore. I have little icons I use next to them. If it gets checked off, it's done for the day. If it has another certain icon, it gets pushed to the next day, or it gets delegated. And that way I can look easily at my calendar and know what's still remaining, know what's been pushed off. And if it's got a line through it, that means God told me that it's of no importance and it was something I thought was good, but it doesn't align with what He wants for me. And it gets crossed off my list. So that does happen. But by creating this ebb and flow in my day, and also being willing to roll with the punches. You guys hear me talk about that all the time. Life is going to be a lot of downs with some ups. And when you learn to realize that, and you learn to just find blessings in the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you just roll with what happens, and it doesn't take your feet out from under you, and you just keep going, you learn that you can, okay, I didn't get that done today, that gets moved to tomorrow, and that's okay. And by doing this, I don't end up wasting a lot of my time, and I get to spend my time on the valuable things I want to, whether that's spending time with the mountain man or the mountain boy, taking my dogs out for a stroll. I can't say the W word or they will jump up and go absolutely bonkers. I can work on my crafting. This is a time of year where I'm stuck inside much of the time because of our weather. So I have one moccasin done. I have the other one all ready to be stitched, and you can be sure I'm going to finish that really fast now that I have one completed, because I want to wear them. They are going to be my everyday shoes. You will see a video coming on that, and also it will be taught in our membership how to create your own shoes without a pattern. It's amazing. And you guys can do all this stuff too. I've been crocheting and knitting. I've got a ton of projects going on. And I do that because I like to jump around when one thing gets a little tiring and I want something more creative to do. I jump to the next project, and I just keep circulating through them and getting them finished. I have that time in my schedule because I'm creating harmony, I'm creating balance, I'm creating the life I want to live. You know, we all have the ability to do that, but we allow the world to dictate things for us. And, you know, a lot of you are running the race. And as we talked about on my YouTube live, I'm wanting to do the marathon. I am wanting to pace myself, enjoy the process, and when I get to the end and the nice white light shines on me when Jesus takes me home, I can say that I accomplished the things I wanted to do. I lived the life I wanted to live, and I was able to do the things I wanted to do, or that God guided me to do, and that I wasn't overwhelmed. I wasn't not enjoying the process, and that I wasn't living to die, if that makes sense. So create harmony in your life. You can do that. Analyze what you've got going on and learn to enjoy the mundane tasks too. You know, dishes are one of those mundane tasks. Most people don't enjoy doing them, and it's not necessarily something I thoroughly enjoy doing and get excited about doing, but while I'm doing it, I listen to a podcast, I listen to educational information, I listen to worship music, I spend that time doing something I enjoy while I'm doing a mundane task. When we learn to enjoy the tasks we have to do, whether they're things we enjoy or not, when you learn to enjoy doing them and you learn to enjoy incorporating things with them, and also just getting them off your list and moving on to something you do enjoy doing, the whole process becomes harmonious. You find bliss, you find happiness, you find enjoyment. If you are not in that place, you are either trying to do too much, or you're on that rabbit hole process and you need to home back in. So analyze, home back in, find your harmony. And if you're working on a big project and you are overwhelmed by it, break it down into smaller pieces. And bite-sized pieces that you know you can accomplish, that you can have success at, that is your catalyst to keep pushing you forward. But The other thing I want to mention too is creating good habits in your life. And if you struggle with being disciplined and things like that, or having a calendar, or getting in a good direction, create good habits. And all you need to do, I hate sticky notes, but I'm going to recommend it anyway because it's in sight. And create a sticky note on your fridge for a habit you want to achieve, and put 30 or 31 circles on it. And every day, as you accomplish that habit and you are implementing that habit and you are keeping it going, color in one of those circles. And honestly, that's all it takes. Just repetition, just keep doing it, creating those good habits, creating the habit of getting in your calendar and doing the things that need to be done, and finding ways to do them that you're not distracted. And that is really key to being able to do quality things and still have time for the fun things in your life. At the end of every day, I check my calendar. I see what I've done. I see what I didn't get accomplished. I rearrange things. I get the next day prepared. I end my day. I do the same thing on Saturdays or Sundays, depending on how things are going or what my life looks like. And I evaluate what my week ahead is going to be like. And I am constantly aware, and I seek God and make sure that He is leading the way, and that I am not trying to lead and do all kinds of things that are out of His will. Because when we do that, it just causes the chaos and it removes us from the harmony. And that is a very important aspect of my peace and my harmony, is letting Him lead and being willing to be reachable, teachable, and humble, cross things off my list that don't align, and keep moving forward. And also paying attention to the fact that He's closing some doors and He's opening others. He's providing me with the information I need to keep excelling and moving forward. And when we are in alignment like that, it's really amazing. So there you go. Those are some tips for you to trying to find harmony in your life. I encourage you to check out the Breathe to Healing podcast, where I'm talking about reflection and the importance of that, because I really do believe that they both go hand in hand. So thank you so much for visiting with me today. I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Thank you for being a part of Mountain Woman Radio, and I look forward to sharing a lot of great information with you guys as we progress into 2023. So have a fabulous day. God bless.